Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is your brother Ayash Gabar from the GMS Virginia camp, coming at you with a quick hit before I head into the plantation that I pray that you find edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And this is going to be a quick hit on Eve, because, with all this shit that's going down in the earth, Eve is still very prideful when she has nothing to be prideful of. You know what I'm saying? I stopped by a little spot, to grab something to eat before I head into the plantation, because I try to, grab a little something before I come in, anyhow. So I'm parking my vehicle, and Eve gets out of the vehicle right next to me with her head up, all up in the air, her nose all up in the air, I should say, with like 20 feet of fake fucking hair hanging from her back. And all I can think of is how fucking prideful she is, bro. How stout she has the nerve to betray herself. You know what I'm saying? So I sat in my car and waited for her ass to walk into the restaurant, because the last thing I'm going to do is hold a door for that bitch. Or any bitch with that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that if I got out the car and walked behind her, she probably wouldn't have held the fucking door for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the mindset of a lot of these women. A lot of these women actually think that you're supposed to do for them and they're not supposed to do for you, but they got another fucking thing coming. You know what I'm saying? And it's very upsetting, to see Eve in this mindset, but all it really does is really, it solidifies why we think the way we think towards these women, man. Especially the women of our nation. Eve, all this really does is solidifies our resolve in not giving a damn about these women, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you cannot deal with them, don't deal with them. You know what I'm saying? If you can get around having to even hold a conversation with them, try to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because even their conversations are fucking prideful. You know what I'm saying? There's this Eve at the plantation, loud as fuck for no reason. Just loud, boisterous, for no reason. I don't even like dealing with her. As a matter of fact, I don't deal with her, which makes my day. Call her Lord Yabashimi Al-Shai. I just saw a license plate that says 4140. Call her law. But I don't even deal with her, bro. I'd rather not deal with it. Why? Because my day goes so much better when I don't have to deal with the frustration of these fucking women of our nation, bro. Peace is what it's about now. You know what I'm saying? I'm of the mindset where I just keep my ass at home. I stay home. I do what I got to do in my crib. You know what I'm saying? If I got to step out, to venture out, to go get some necessities or whatever, I do that. And then I bounce my ass right the fuck back home. Eve, her ass is out there in the street, out and about, doing all types of crazy shit, not even considering the time that she's in. Not even considering the time that she's in. There's no reason in the world why you should see a woman walking down the street by herself at 11 o'clock at night. As a matter of fact, there's no reason in the world why you should see a woman walking down the street at all. But that's what type of kingdom we live in. You know what I'm saying? We live in a type of place where a lot of these women actually feel comfortable. Well, that comfortability is about to be taken away. That prideful look is about to be brought low. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these women make it very easy for the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai to have the mindset that we have, let alone Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah has already gave us the information on these women. You know, they're our enemy. You know, the scriptures say, she who is my enemy shall see it. You know, and she should be. Let me get it. I spoke long enough without bringing out a precept. Because, man, she that is mine. I think that's. The book of Micah. Let me bookmark this. The book of Micah, chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai thy power? My eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the street. You know, and that's the mindset a lot of these women have towards their men. You know, they actually sit back and say, well, where's your power? You know, you can't do shit against me. You know, the court system is in my favor. You know, this place is in my favor. Everything is in my favor. And as a matter of fact, everything that you work for, I want half. As a matter of fact, I want 3/4 of it, and you still gonna pay alimony and child support with the other quarter you got left. You know, and that's just how wicked these women have become. You know, here it is. These women can actually take all of a man's possessions, you know, to bring him lower and not even give a fuck. And not even care about the well-being of the man, and then still want fucking more. To the point where they're not happy with seeing blood. You know, and they follow right after their father Esau. You know, Esau isn't content with blood. He want more. Well, you Eves are the same fucking way. You're not content with seeing your men low. You want to bring him lower so that he never gets the fuck back up. You know, and that's just the mindset of you fucking women. You want to see your men totally destroyed just like your enemy, or just like our other enemy, Esau Edom, wants to see us destroyed. Well, guess what? You know, your daddy's being humbled and being brought low because shameful spewing is being brought against his pride. Well, shameful spewing is going to be brought across, you know what I'm saying, you Eves. You women are about to be brought very fucking low. So low that you're going to have no choice but to come humbling. And even in that, men ain't going to fucking want you, because at that point, you're just a liability. You know, a lot of you women are going to be coming in droves, and a lot of you women are going to be left out in the cold in droves. Because you refuse to have some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, obedience towards your men. Let alone respect. You know, you women don't respect your men. Not at all. Some of you are coming around, but even with your coming around, it ain't enough, because you still think it's a 50-50 game. You know, you still think just because you come around and you're starting to see how things are in terms of how mistreated your men have be, that, you know, you still are allotted half. You know, that, you know, it's still a 50-50 relationship. No, it's never been a 50-50 relationship. But this devil has allowed you to think that it has. And in that, you've come to the conclusion that you're on par with your men. Well, as I said earlier, a lot of you women are going to be brought very low. A lot of you women are going to be at the point where you're going to be out and destitute. Especially when they turn the lights off in this bitch. Especially when you lose your jobs. Especially when this financial system is going to collapse. You see, that's what you base your power on. You base your power on a fiat financial wealth system. Well, I got this in the bank, I got that, I ain't fucking with a man unless he making 6 figures. 6 figures ain't gonna mean shit in a time of Jacob's trouble. The protection of a man is gonna be worth his weight in gold. As a matter of fact, let me get that. Let me get that, because a lot of you women are about to be asked out. The book of Isaiah, chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away thy reproach. That's what's coming. Isaiah 4 and 1 is here. Isaiah 4 and 1 is here. And it's only going to get worse for you fucking women. I can't even say I can't believe, the mindset of that woman who walked in that restaurant. I could believe it. But what I can't believe about it is how nasty she looked and still had this fucking mentality about herself. You women are about to be brought very low. And I can't wait. I can't wait. For all you women who left men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai because you thought it would, because you thought the grass was greener on the other side, you got another thing coming. For all you women who scoffed at the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you got another thing coming. For all you women who were disobedient to your men, whether they were prophets or not, or men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you got another thing coming. Because a lot of you men have even left the men who are not men of the Lord. So even in that, you're unprotected. A lot of you women have taken your men to court for child support and all types of shit. Had them locked up because whatever the fucking reason was that, you actually decided to take them to court for. But a lot of you women have placed your man in a system that will really fuck his life up. And you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. A lot of you women, y'all do this as if it's okay. And at the time, it was okay. It was okay because nothing happened to you. That's your mindset. Well, shit, ain't nothing happening to me. He locked up. He on child support. He can't pay. Knowing damn well, you chose wrong. You chose a fucking felon. And then, even in that, a lot of you women have had babies by other men who weren't even your fucking husbands. And then got the audacity to turn around and have your husband take care of a child that ain't his. You're going to pay for that. You are going to pay for that in this life. A lot of you women have done some fucked up shit and got the nerve to be prideful. You're going to pay for that in this life. And that time is rapidly coming. That time is upon you. Okay. Yahweh Shem Yahushua got something specifically for you women, man. Anyhow, I gotta get ready to head into the plantation. You know what I'm saying? It was just a quick hit, on something that was on my spirit. Hold on a second, let me grab one more. What do I want to get? Let me get this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 3. Well, hold on a second. Let me get this. Shalak here, brothers. The book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. That's what's coming, brothers. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is about to, make us very fine men of gold, better than the fine wedge of Ophir. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is about to raise up his men, and we're coming into a time where a lot of you're going to have to pass judgment on women because we know they lie. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to have to put a spirit on men to decipher if a woman's telling the fucking truth or not. Because a lot of women are going to leave their husbands, leave their families for protection. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have that spirit of discernment to know that woman, could possibly be committing adultery while her husband still lives. Don't be confounded over the fact that you're going to have women who have left their families, who have left their husbands to come to seek you. You know what I'm saying? To try to put you in that trick bag. No, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to give you that spirit of discernment, to let that woman know, and to let you know. You have had 6 husbands, and the one that you're with now isn't even your husband. That's that level of discernment that we're going to have, like that woman at the well that Yahweh Shai was talking to. The scriptures were made for our learning. And that's just an example of something that we're going to have to deal with. And it definitely has to be something that you got to be cognizant of. You don't want that trouble in the time of Jacob's trouble. Anyhow, you know what I'm saying? This is just something I was just wanting to bring out, through the spirit, of something that I saw Eve having a nose stuck in the fucking air. And it pissed me off, Anyhow, I'll close out. Like I said, I got to get into the plantation. And so with that, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.